Okay, this is another tutorial here on simvascular for myself. We're going to be creating a path through the aorta. So what we first want to do is open up simvascular, and then in the paths tab here, you want to enter these values. See, I'm circling them there: 100, aorta, and the number of spline points is 300. Alright, and then you're going to go create new path, and you'll see it shows up there in paths. So you click it, the little plus sign, and it shows up right there, aorta, and then all the information associated with it. And then we're going to come here to display options. Alright, and now that is the so that was the cursor, and that toggles the display of the 3D cursor there. As you can see, and if you click on it, you can play around with it here. Yeah, there it goes. It lights up green when you click on it, and that'll change the values of the cursor where it's at. And now the other options, I'm just going to show you there. You won't be able to see them because there's no path currently, but that toggles the display of the piecewise linear path through the points in the current path, and the others, the show points, that displays the boxes at each point location, and the spline toggles the display of a cubic spline through the points of the path. And so those we'll work with as we move on. Right now they're not relevant because we haven't actually created the path. And then there's also those I just highlighted there, the show all paths linear and show all paths splines, and that just displays all the paths currently in the memory and listed in the path view frame. And once again, we have no paths that we've created. But now we're going to start to create our path. We're attaching an image axis there. We go R for the top one. We adjust the sliding bar under manual. I'm going to put it to around 84, 85. So you can see there it is. Now I'm adjusting, these are set values in the simvascular tutorial, and this is showing how to attach an image axis and fixing an axis. So as we saw, we attached the axis and the image stayed on the axis, and now as you can see, the 111 is stuck because we set that axis. It was fixed. Sorry, we fixed that axis, and the other two moved around there. Those two moved around, the P and the I, and then the LR axis stays stationary at 111 there. Okay, so now the cursor increment there, I'm changing it to 0.25. That's just so your motion isn't too jerky. If you have it too high at like 1 pixel for some things, the motion becomes jerky when you're working in there. So you can go as low as 0.1. Going below that isn't recommended. And so now we're looking at our tiles here. We're going to set them to these values here: 228, 13, 475. We're going to attach an image axis to the S, and we're going to view that there too from the image, and you should see kind of a white, that's the aorta there, that white dot that's located in the middle of these axes. And so created a point, and so in order to add a point, you're going to want to put your cursor in the middle of the screen on that white dot and click the T button on your keyboard, and then you get, as I'm pointing to with that arrow there, those points. And so then I kind of messed up a little bit here, but it works out. I add the wrong point. I had a 0, 0, 0, because I forgot to, I didn't click the T, or I hit it in the wrong spot. But I moved it down to 450, so we're moving the image up. That image axis is attached to that interior superior, and so as we move the interior superior, the image is moving with it. And so that 0, 0, 0 was not what I wanted. And as were these points here, I accidentally held down the T. You want to make sure that you just hit the T, you don't hold it down, because then you're going to get a ton of points like I did there. But it works out because we're going to show you how to delete those points. And so you're going to want to go to additional options, I believe. It took me a little while to figure it out. But 400, so yeah, I'm showing. And you want to keep the path along the aorta. It took me a little while to figure this out. You can see I can move it, the green there. I have deleted some of the other points, but I'm going to delete them explicitly here for the tutorial. And at this point, I still hadn't figured out that I was supposed to create the path along the aorta, but you'll see eventually that I will. In fact, I'll get it right. So have faith. Here's how to delete it. You go to Additional Options, delete the currently selected point. And then there's a lot of these other ones that I didn't want, so I went ahead and I paused it and I deleted all of them. So now we're back to the beginning here. We got, there it is. We're going to want to create a path along that aorta there that I'm circling. So we're going to move incrementally down by increments of 50 on the interior superior axis. And then just try to keep it lined up. So this, okay, this was path. Oh, no, that was my bad. That was my bad. But just ignore that. I made a mistake there. So now I went ahead and I'm going to click the green. I'm going to get it lit up green and hit T. And there's my new point. And then we're just going to keep going up and adjusting it so it's still on the aorta there, you see. And pause. But basically, I did that all the way down to the bottom, and I got all these different points. And so we're going to show the path. There's all my points. Show spline. There is the path of the aorta, roughly. Since I went in increments of 50, it's not perfect. If I really wanted to be accurate, I would have gone in much smaller increments. But since this is just learning how to use it, and you can see it sort of traces the aorta all the way up through there. So there's my path. And now we're just going to show you what it looks like with the 3D image of the point cloud of the aorta. So there it is. And it's pretty good. I went a little too far, but it's roughly pretty good for increments of 50. So now we're going to want to go ahead and hit the spline button there and go minimum 50. And what that's going to do is give us our path with 50 gray circles that you can edit the path one by one. So this is why you can make a really rough path and then just go ahead and edit it to make it more accurate. And as you can see, I'm centering them within the aorta. Right. And I kept playing with this for a little while until I was satisfied with the result. And I'm going to go ahead and hit Update Path. And so I hit Update Path. And I got a new path with those, with the updated moving of the spline function there. And so now we're going to show the new path. Oh, so this is smooth. This is the smooth tool, and I know another one of my partners had a problem with it. But this is the error I kept getting, can't read answer, and I don't know why, but I couldn't get it to work. Anyway, we're going to move on here. We're back into paths. And so I'm just highlighting here. I can't smooth the current path for some reason. So that's going to be something we're going to need to figure out. Anyway, though, so we have our path. We're going to want to go ahead and save it in my simvascular folder. That's my working directory. Make sure it has .paths. I go save, and then I'm going to load it again. And that's it there. You just click on it, hit open, and there's our path. See, I didn't exit out, so you can't tell that it was gone, and then came back. So what I did, I closed simvascular just to get a better effect here. Click on it again, and then this is a new simvascular folder. You're going to go to paths, aorta, and then you're going to bring it up. So it's in there. As you can see, the plus appeared, and we're going to go ahead and click on our display options as we did earlier. And our display options of the spline and the points. And there's our points, there's our spline, and there's our path. And that's how you load a path. So it took a while to create the path. You don't want to have to do it again, and then there's the path we created.